St. Cloud, Florida, this is the Phoenix Rising Radio Network.
If they're paying you, you're going to earn it. Put these on. I'll meet you in the bathroom.
Welcome to the Doc Show, Coast to Coast.
Do this, that, and the other thing and make miracles happen.
You can only turn your underwear inside out once.
You don't want to know.
Ralph Balmer says it all.
Just popped out of a bird's butt.
Weeknights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Before you leave, there are things you have to do, and I think you understand what I'm talking about.
My dad may have struggled, but he didn't give up.
System's got to be moving and a grooving.
Give Doc a call.
407-498-3193. It's the Doc Show, where I refuse to poop around anybody.
That's amazing. I've always wanted to do that.
What do you get when you cross a highly outspoken individual with the power of radio?
They give you an elixir, and at 2 o'clock, all of a sudden...
Well, you still get the highly outspoken Doc.
It's got a sticky front and a loose back end.
And who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
But I am not going to poop myself.
Now arm yourselves with a poop bomb and get ready to throw.
Often imitated, never quite duplicated.
That's why it's good to be me.
This is the Doc Show, Coast to Coast, with Doc Holliday.
Another big story to come out of last night was how bad the polling was. But the people who work in the polling industry said that they're going to go back and figure out what they did wrong, then present their findings at the Cleveland Browns Super Bowl parade. And you go, Actually, I read that the polls may have been off because the shift to cell phones made it harder to collect data from people. Then Hillary said, they seem to have a pretty easy time collecting data from my phone.
Last night, I offered to fight Donald Trump on behalf of our country. I hope that he will be a sorry president for all disappointed Americans. I want to thank Barack and Michelle Obama. Our country owes you $5, and thank you from all of us. And to Bill, you crisscrossed this country and knocked me up when I needed it most at our headquarters in Brooklyn and across our country. Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him setbacks, really painful ones. I am incredibly honored to have had this chance to represent all of you in this election. May God bless the United States of America.
Are you kidding me? America still has a soul. Not everybody, but enough of us. We went to the Concord Bridge and we stopped the enemy. I'm all bleary-eyed and worn out. Well, not worn out, but a little frazzled. I'm getting up to go deer hunting this morning because I'm a free man. I'm an American. I declare my independence. I celebrate the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the self-evident truths that make America the last and only best place in the world. And we made our We the People statement. We declared our independence, and we told Hillary Clinton we don't accept liars and scammers and thieves and rotten, freedom-hating, Constitution-hating, conniving criminals to become president. Thank you, America. Good going. Good work.
It's Thursday.
President Obama will welcome President-elect Trump to the White House to work on a smooth transition of power.
The first order of business is to blame everything on the guy before me.
Showtime. Why don't we just take a break?
Because I can't stop.
They deserve more than that.
Nice going, America. Man, I love you little monkeys all across this land. I love you, your heart, your spirit, your attitude. But the most important thing right now, I really, really love your middle finger. You have a beautiful middle finger, America. I like to just caress that middle finger and stroke that middle finger and give it a big kiss. There, I kissed it. I kissed your middle finger. I hope it was clean.
The 5 stages of grief. Now, stage 1 is, of course, denial. As in, no, the host of Celebrity Apprentice is not our president. He can't possibly be. Wolf Blitzer, please tell us you missed the county. When denial passes, we move to stage 2, anger. Who do I blame for this? Bernie supporters? The FBI, Gary Johnson, Jill Stein. How is it possible that half the country was too busy to even vote? They all managed to play Pokemon Go, but And then you go on Facebook and you curse at the uncle you used to love when you were a kid. Which, when that's done, brings us to the next stage. Stage 3, bargaining. Maybe this needed to happen to wake everyone up. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe he'll only build the wall waist high to keep short people out. Search for a ray of light, that kind of thing. But then depression sets in. Stage 4. This is where you get a spoon and you just start eating peanut butter right out of the jar. You eat a whole box of Fruit Loops in bed and you just wallow in it until you reach stage 5, acceptance. No matter how you feel about it, Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. So thank God we legalized marijuana yesterday.
The presidential election happened last night, and the good news is it's over now and everyone agrees with the outcome. People who voted for Trump are happy today. People who voted for Hillary are disappointed. But listen, no matter who you voted for, the important thing is you all got stickers. It was a weird night. Weird to be watching the news. If you were flipping around, every news anchor on every channel was just going, and then it would just go to commercial. When Hillary Clinton found out she lost, she conceded with grace and dignity. When Gary Johnson found out he lost, he was like, wait, the election was yesterday? Election day was a roller coaster of emotions. Many Democrats spent yesterday saying, get out there and vote. And then around 8 p.m. they were like, wait, I didn't mean you.
He absolutely betrayed his cause. As far as I'm concerned, Colin Kaepernick is absolutely irrelevant. I don't want to see him again. I don't want to hear from him again. I don't want to hear a damn word about anything that he has to say about our nation, the issues that we have, racial injustices, needing change, etc., etc. He comes across as a flaming hypocrite. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not interested in a damn word that he has to say. And quite frankly, I hope he goes away. He's lucky to be in the league right now. Colin Kaepernick, after all this noise that you made, to turn around and not to even take your behind to the polls to vote for a particular candidate, it is shameful. Absolutely shameful. Him of all people, because of the position he took, because of the attention he brought to the issues, the fact that you don't even have the decency to go to the polls and activate yourself in this election, as our president said, is a damn shame. I don't want to hear another word from Colin Kaepernick. It's a waste of time. As far as I'm concerned, everything he said meant absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear another damn word from him.
I like it when he gets all fired up. And goodbye to Colin Kaepernick, by the way. Colin Kaepernick didn't vote. But he wants to take a knee on the American flag. He wants to tell us how we're supposed to live. Because he's a liberal who didn't vote. Colin Kaepernick. I want you to take a really good look at all the morons that are storming the streets, and they expect it here this weekend, protesting something they have no idea about. They don't know why they're out there. They're out there because their friends are out there. Well, they're out there getting high together. I saw one idiot today, and I have no respect for any of you. None. Especially anybody who protests. That you're upset that the party that is pro-Islamic terror, that the president, you know that Barack Obama wasn't running, right? I know you didn't vote. I know you didn't vote. I did a numbers check today. And in every major city, Hillary Clinton's numbers were down over 100,000 over Obama's. And Donald Trump's numbers were up 150,000. Now these are especially in the states that they needed. 150,000 over Mitt Romney. What does that mean? In the states that Hillary desperately needed to win and counted on it, you all liberal pieces of garbage and you trash. This is over. Donald's an idiot. I stuck up for Donald for an entire year. When he did something wrong, I said it. And I'm going to say this. You know what's nice about having a white guy back in the White House? I can criticize Donald Trump, and none of you ponytailed, no-job-having jackasses can call me a racist. That you spent, actually, 7 years calling me. I'm a racist. I said I didn't like Hillary Clinton. The sexist thing, that kind of died out pretty fast. But the fact that there were women who voted for Hillary because she was a woman makes you as stupid as you can possibly be. Or that you told your little daughter, honey, when you wake up tomorrow, we're going to have the first female president. And your little 10-year-old daughter, who's too young to understand anything but what you just said, was like, okay, Mommy, and she fell asleep. And you know what, Mommy? You lied to your kid. See, you needed to get out and vote. And you didn't vote. And that's why Donald Trump is president today. He got the right states. Now, I personally prefer an election system where the majority wins. The Electoral College is there to help counter voter fraud. But in the long run, if voter fraud happened in all those states that they really needed, you know, Hillary had her blue wall that Trump couldn't penetrate, then there's voter fraud. So Hillary gets, and that's how dumb, oh my God. It's almost impossible for me to get this out of my mouth. If I saw my kid at some protest in Orlando over the weekend because he got on TV, I'd get my ass in my car and I'd go down and I'd snatch his ass and let him swing at me. And I'd knock his ass out right in front of all his friends. Throw him back in the car and get him some mental help. And for every one of you that think you're going to come out because you're upset that Obama's leaving or Hillary didn't win, don't you understand? The Democrat Party is the most corrupt, Muslim, terror-loving party. It's a left-wing party, and it's changed since John F. Kennedy was in office. Black people became Democrats because of a white man. You became Republicans because of a white man. That was Abe Lincoln. Martin Luther King was a Republican. What are you talking about? Martin Luther King could not have been the same. That's because you don't learn anything, or you don't want to learn anything, or you're too stupid to learn. Kennedy was the one who came in and said, you know something? If all men are created equal, then why are blacks denied the chance to own property? Why are they denied the chance? And we all watched George Wallace, Democrat. We all watched him in archives, of course. Maybe some of you are old enough, I don't know. Spray those black kids so they couldn't go to the University of Alabama. And Alabama at the top, I think, was the most racist state in the Union. Of course, there's plenty of racism up north. Go to Massachusetts. Go to Boston sometime. The most racist city in the Northeast is Boston, Massachusetts. And that's because it's so Catholic. If you're not a Catholic up there, don't even bother. If you're not a Red Sox fan, you're an idiot. Boston is an elitist, Democratic city. They still embolden what was wrong with the Democratic Party and what's become wrong about them again. So Kennedy starts working on all men are created equal. And we're going to make sure that the Negroes, I mean, that's what you called yourself, don't look at me, have the same right as any white man. And he worked with Martin Luther King on them. And John Kennedy died before it could be finished and signed. Yeah, there were some people that didn't want that. They didn't want that bill, and they were in his party. Same as Martin Luther King was killed by his people. 5 years later, John Kennedy was killed by his people. For various reasons, but that was one of them. And to make it so, because they were having the investigations and this, that, and the other thing, and Lyndon Johnson took over, a Texan who called you all the N-word all the time. He said, this has to be finished. And they all agreed. Because if that stopped, there's reason one why Kennedy was killed, and they would have looked into the Democratic Party. Okay? So they finished it. And you got your rights because of a white man. And then, the black folks said, we're voting Democrat. Which is the biggest mistake ever, because what has a Democrat ever done for black people? One man, John Kennedy, was going to do it. The other man finished it so there'd be no suspicion that his own government killed John Kennedy. That was the entire reason. And you're out there, Black Lives Matter! And I saw one jackass with a impeach Trump. No, I'm not kidding. How the hell do you impeach somebody that's not in office? And you're out there fighting, and I hope the cops beat the shit out of you. Because you were making this country look totally idiotic, and I guarantee you one thing. I know where this is coming from. Because the man is still president of the United States, and he is not called for peace. That would be Barack Hussein Obama. The money is coming from George Soros and the Democratic Party. And it's going to get worse. And people are going to die. Stupid, stupid people. And they didn't vote. Oh, I saw one girl try to lie her way through it. It was an ABC commentator. Oh, and by the way, if you want to watch really bad TV, go to CNN and go to MSNBC, who are standing up and cheering America's right to be heard. But when the right wing, the Republicans, wanted to be heard, we were called racists. We were called this. We were called that. You idiots put in same-sex bathrooms so pedophiles can rape children. The Democrats are the group of the pedophiles. The Democrats are the group of the KKK. No, they're not. They're Republicans. No, they're not. They're Democrats. They've been Democrats for day one because they were the slaveholders. And when Lincoln freed the slaves, here comes the KKK, and they were Democrats and former slaveholders, and they've been Democrats for 160 years. And they're still Democrats. I'm going to take a break. Boy, I hope something breaks out around here. I'd love to see a group of you stupid asses walking up my street. Because I'd call you over. And then I would teach you a little history lesson. You wouldn't have the balls to come over to me, but black people are beating white people who voted for Trump. Beating a 70-year-old man. 2 of them. Kicking him. Punching him. And pissing on him. But you see now, that stuff's going to make TV. It sure as hell made my Facebook. And it sure as hell is going to go viral. And if I saw you sons of bitches doing that to an old white man, I'd cap both of you. Oh, well, officer, and the cops aren't going to take your side because you've been killing them under the orders of Black Lives Matter and Barack Obama and George Soros. See, all that's over now. We're going to take our country back. And if you want to fight, we'll give you one. But when you're laying there in the street bleeding, I hope somebody asked you, what were you fighting for? Because you don't know. You don't know. Because you're idiots. It's 27 minutes past the hour. I'll be back. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you at all. I suggest to all of us who are finally happy that we can get Allah out of the White House, finally happy that we get our freedom of speech back, finally happy that the guy sitting in the White House isn't going to give the internet and all the streaming technology to China. Obama, the worst president ever. Where's the call for peace? He's behind it, along with Soros, just like every other Black Lives Matter event. And you know what, Black Lives Matter? You're gone. You are gone. Because in my America, we don't tolerate terror groups killing American citizens. And that's what you are. And if you got something to say, 407-498-3193. 407-498-3193. I dare you to defy me on this because you can't.